Hello everybody, it's Meg Gray, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to build an awesome phoenix statue, as you can see behind me. This was another suggestion I received from a couple of people, and I'm finally getting around to it. So thank you guys for your suggestions, and I hope this build will be a help to you. The dimensions of this particular statue are 29 by 11. The height could vary depending on how you build the tail section, and I will show you that once we get started. I'll also show you some cool ways you could color this at the end of the video, but for now we're just going to stick with stone. Alright, let's get started. To start off, we're going to begin with the base of the statue, which is the tail. I'm going to place a few blocks down to give myself a guide of where the ends of the feathers will go from the tail. But once you have those placed, and it could be random, and you will see what I mean by that later on, we'll just need to find a center point, build up a few blocks, and place the base of the rest of the bird up here. This can go as high or as short as you want, it all depends on how big you want your tail to be. So we have our floating base, and we have our little placeholder blocks below. Now I'm going to connect the two by creating these spiral-like designs that wrap around the base. So this tail design is not set in stone. You could change it as much as you want. You could make it long and really curvy. It doesn't even have to be a twisty thing like I've done. It's really just a base for your statue, so you can get as creative as you want with this part. Now starting on the center block of that base, we're going to build the middle layer of the rest of the phoenix. If you want to start off with a colored phoenix, you could just follow the colors I have on the left. And once we're done building it all together, I'll show you how you can make the colored version a little more detailed. Now all we have to do is keep adding layers on both sides until we have it finished. Pay close attention to the feet on the second layer, as they are a little bit trickier with the stair placement. All of these layers are going to be exact mirrors of each other, meaning once this build is finished, it's going to look perfectly symmetrical. Aside from whatever you've done for the tail, of course. We're pretty much done with the body part of the bird by layer 3, so layer 4 and up will just be doing the wings. Since we only have to do the wings, the rest of these layers are going to have the blocks pretty spread out. It's kind of a funny way to be building wings, but it's the easiest way for me to show you. And it might not look like anything in the layers, but once you look at it from a different angle from the front or the back, then you can kind of see it all come together. I did my best to make sure that each layer connected to the previous one at one point or another, that way you could place the blocks a little more easily. But you might occasionally have one that's just randomly floating in the air. I'm going to run through these layers really quick since there's not tons of blocks you have to place for each one, and you can also pause the video whenever you need to. I have no idea what you would use this statue for, but as I look at it, I'm imagining two of them side by side at the entrance of a castle, or possibly having one perched on top of a tower, or maybe even use one as a centerpiece of a fountain. Wow, so many possibilities. Maybe leave a comment and let me know what you're planning on using it for. I'd love to hear your ideas. There are still a few more layers to go, so I'm just going to leave you to building as you finish those up. This is the last layer, I promise. Just these two blocks on either side. This is looking fantastic. Now remember when I said at the beginning of the video that you could have done this in color, and now I'm going to show you how you can make the colored version a little more interesting. As you can see, I have colored mine completely with orange terracotta. Now I know I had red in my diagram, but I used orange because it's a good middle tone block, and kind of necessary for what I'm about to do. Because this is a phoenix, we want it to represent fire and look like it's got flaming wings, and the best way to do that would be to create a gradient of warm colors starting from the tips of the feathers. So I'm going to create a gradient of color starting with a deep red concrete, and gradually work my way towards the calmer yellow terracotta. You can use different shades of red and orange, just make them gradually fade into the yellow. I did mix some other dull colors with the rest of the body to give it more texture, but I kept all of the very bright colors on the tips of the wings and the tail. There we go, we have set our phoenix ablaze. That's looking pretty good. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I did try to keep it as simple and uncomplicated as possible. If you did like it, be sure to let me know by leaving a like or a comment, and also subscribe if you'd like to see more tutorials. Feel free to leave more suggestions too, I will always be accepting those. Bye guys!